guys, it's Jennifer and welcome back to Busy Being Jen. I'm here today to show you how I style my hair. I've had a few viewers who have asked for this kind of a video and so thought I would show that to you today. What I want to do is tell you really quick some issues I have with my hair that I have to address when I'm styling it. First of all, my hair is very naturally curly, boingy curls underneath, but on top the hair is kind of scraggly. So I can't even just do like a natural dry and have it, you know, have these beautiful curls because the top part of my hair just looks terrible. So I typically just use a big fat round brush and straighten it out. And so then I end up with kind of wavy hair. I also have a cowlick that is all the way across my forehead. And so I try to flatten that out. Boy, you know, back in the early 90s, late 80s with the, you know, big mall bangs and stuff, I didn't have to worry about that at all because that's what my hair wants to do on its own. But now that's not really the look. So I have to try to flatten this out. So you'll see in the video what I'm doing with that. I'm also growing out my bangs, and so they're not too long at this point, but long enough just to be a little bit awkward. So there you go. I'll go ahead and stop talking and show you how I blow dry and curl my hair. Okay, so as you can see, my hair is kind of starting to dry and it's curly. So I'm going to be straightening that out. That's the first task, along with straightening out my bangs and trying to flatten out this cowlick that I have all the way across the front of my forehead. I'm going to be using this big fat round brush here. And so let me go ahead and show you what I do. Oh, and before I start doing my hair, I put two products in for lifting up the roots and making keeping my hair from going so flat. I use this big Sexy Hair Root Pump. This one is Root Pump Plus. I've also used Root Pump and with no plus. The only difference I can see is that the Root Pump Plus says it's humidity resistant. So I spray that in my part and rub it in, and on the sides and a little in the back. In addition to that, I take some of this Matrix Oil Wonders Indian Amla oil. I take a couple of drops and I work it through my hair. All right, now let's get going on drying it. So you can see I keep pushing it down to try to flatten out my cowlick. So now I take it and I flop it over to this side. My part is on this side, but if I immediately just flop it to the side where my hair normally goes, then I find that my hair flattens out. So if I flop it over this way while I continue to dry this side, it helps to keep a little bit more lift. So now I'm going to do the side, and the important thing that I do on this side is I make sure that I get the round brush really close to my temple. Because if you are graying, like I am at the age of 53, you probably have noticed that you have quite a lot of gray hair in your temples, and gray hair tends to be wiry and, you know, kind of curly and wiry. And so you'll see women whose hair is beautifully styled, and then they have this puff of this wiry hair right here. And even if it's not gray, like they've colored it, it's their gray hair that's all wiry. So I try to get really close so that I can straighten that out as best I can. All right, now I'm gonna flop this back over to this side. All right, now that most of it is kind of straightened out here, what I'm gonna do is take my paddle brush. My hair looks lovely. And take my paddle brush and just kind of use that to dry the rest of it that's closer to my scalp. Okay, so if I was not going to be using a curling iron on my hair, I would get a smaller round brush and focus more on my ends and smoothing those out, but I'm going to use a curling iron now. So this is a pretty fat curling iron. I'm not sure of the exact size, probably like 1.5 or 1 3/4. So pretty fat. I have it set on 18. I was watching a hairstylist who was talking about how if your curling iron is so hot that it would burn your fingers, then it's too hot. Okay, so the biggest key to using this is to alternate backward, forward with the direction of the curls so that it doesn't just make this big swooping wave in one direction, but that it looks a little bit more natural. I start with the ones up front, I have them go backward. Some of my hair fell out on this one, so I'm just gonna grab it up here. This one goes forward and backward. You know, I was watching this teenage girl who was doing a video about curling her hair, and she wrapped her hair up, and she must have had it so hot, and she left it on for a long time. And so as she's talking to the camera, she unwinds her hair, and a clump of her hair just comes off in her hand. It was, well, it was funny, but it, you know, I felt bad for her. And then for the front of it, I just want to round off the part where my bangs are. Now, I'm growing my bangs out. I'm trying to. Like my last hair appointment was the first one where I did not have her cut my bangs. So they're kind of doing funky things. But I just kind of run the curling iron through it just really quickly, just to kind of round it a little bit. All right, then I'm going to take my hairspray, and this is Garnier Fructis Full Control Hairspray, and I use number 4. So then without brushing it or anything, I'm just going to hairspray the curls. And now just need to let it dry. What I'm going to be using in just a second is Paul Mitchell Firm Style Dry Wax. And I don't glob a whole bunch on it, just put a little on my fingertips and put it through just to kind of make the hair piecey. But before I do that, I'm just going to run my fingers through. Now I'm going to take some of the dry wax. And literally I just, you know, put my fingers in here twice and run that through my hair. So these things last me forever. Okay, now I'm going to take my hairspray, and here's where I'm going to try to make my hair overly poofy, because my hair is going to settle down. It's going to flatten out, and if I try to get it to look like I want it to look right at this moment, it will flatten out and then it won't look like I really want it to look. So I take my, because like if you look at it like this is nice, but then it'll go flat. So I take my hair and I lift it way up so that when I spray it, the hairspray gets all the way in there. And then sometimes even flip my hair over while it's drying. So there you go, and then usually I put my hair behind my ears. So this is going to settle down in just a few minutes, 15 minutes or so. But this is kind of how it looks, and you can see that the curls are going, there's curls going backwards and there's curls going forward and backward, and that's how it looks. Well, that's it. It's been about 15 minutes since I did my hair. It's settled a little bit. It'll settle a little bit more than this. But that's generally, I don't wear my hair this way every day, but most every day I wear my hair like this. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope I'll see you again on Busy Being Jen. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.